What's going on, everybody? See if I can brighten this up some. There we go. Still figuring out the new phone, which I've already cracked the screen on. But I have insurance. So when I get home, I don't know what it is about this new phone, but it's the slipperiest son of a gun I've ever owned. Haven't made a video in a while. Just been lazy. I had a viewer that asked for a review, made a comment on the orientation video that I did when I first started this journey. Right now, I mean, the good things are the good things. I'm doing my own thing, booking loads, pretty much running where I want to run. Which is a plus. I don't have to deal with a dispatcher or ridiculous, unnecessary gazillion messages every day. I know what I'm doing, so if a little envelope pops up on my Qualcomm, I'm not having to pull over because, it might be a dispatch load. I'm making money. I'm sure that will get better and better as I go. Last week could have been better, but again, it's on me because I'm picking my loads. I can't blame anybody. What ended up happening is I ended up spending more on fuel. I didn't overspend on fuel. I mean, I used every bit of it for the loads I was on, but I don't go east. I know I've said that in previous videos. I don't like to go east. I don't want to go east. A load popped up. It was a little heavy, and it was going to Virginia, which is about as far east as you're going to get me. I mean, I wasn't far from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, so put it that way. I don't want to go any further east than, I don't even want to go past West Virginia. Put it that way. But I took the load and ran it out there and crawled up and down them hills and just burned up a bunch of fuel. And I had a load coming back out. Didn't pay spectacular, it paid decent. But again, had a little weight to it, so I was climbing hills coming out of there. So I spent a little bit more on fuel, and it really killed the average fuel mileage on this truck, which I'm still trying to recover from. But yeah, I mean, so I'm running and I'm making money. I still made money. I didn't hurt myself too bad, but I could have made more had I done something else. I know I could. I came back out of the house this week. I went home for a day. I came back out. I've run 4 loads. I ran one the day I got home on Tuesday, delivered a load that morning, took Wednesday off, came back out on Thursday. So total for the week so far, I've run 4. The only issue right now is the Labor Day holiday. So it just is what it is. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, I've been running. Yeah, been running. That is for sure. I mean, today's Saturday, and I came back out on Thursday. So, I mean, Thursday was a debacle. I'll get into that in a minute. So I didn't run hardly any miles that day, but I went to pick up a load, which I did pick up. And then, yesterday I ran 548. Day before today I ran 551. But it's been pick it up in the evening, deliver it, early afternoon, and then pick up the next load, and same thing. I picked up a load in Jonesboro, Arkansas, delivered that, picked up a load out of Topeka, delivered that, and then I picked up the load I have now, which delivers tomorrow, Sunday. I'll have it delivered around noon, 1300. I could have got further down the road today, but I got delayed by a slow and ridiculous procedure I literally made 3 trips around the building because everything's got to go in one way. Went around the building, dropped off the load trailer, went around the building, picked up the empty trailer, and they don't want you to slide your tandems in the spot the trailer you're picking up is in. They got an area you got to take it to slide your tandems. I'm sure somebody in the office is really proud of their process, but it seemed a little ridiculous to me, but that's my opinion. So yeah, I've been running pretty good. So with this load, if you count the days I've actually run, I've run, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've averaged about $800 a load, so pretty good. It's pretty good. So yeah, it don't take a whole lot. You don't have to kill yourself. I'm not killing myself. Like, yeah, I put in some miles, but again, I ain't killed myself. I didn't beat myself in the dirt. But anyway, getting back to the review, because I'm wandering. I'm tired, so I'm wandering. Overall, on the good points, I'm going to give an A. On communication, they're barely making a D+. Their empty trailer, that was like that when I was here a couple years ago. It's still like that. I know they went public with a stock offering a couple years ago. You think they would have took some of that investor money and bought more trailers? Obviously not. But it is what it is. Another, I don't know if you'd really even call it an issue, but yeah, I guess you could. It's an issue. Within the last 3 weeks, I'm averaging 1 load a week that's supposed to be a drop and hook and turns into a live unload. So they're either, and I have a hard time believing they're accidentally posting these on the load board as drop and hooks, because and I had a live load that was supposed to be a drop and hook. When I got to that customer, they told me flat out they had been calling Schneider continuously trying to get them to bring them empty trailers. They had not done so. So it was live load. So I spent 2.5 hours there. But the last live unload I did, that was in Kansas City, Missouri. Supposed to be a drop and hook. And when I got there, the very nice lady behind the counter informed me that they don't do anything but live loads and live unloads. So that one being listed as a drop and hook was a complete farce. Again, I find it hard to believe that it's done mistakenly. So we'll go with that conspiracy. But communication. I don't need to talk to anyone unless there's information regarding a customer. And as all companies, use the Qualcomm because it's better. Well, no, it's not. It's no different with this company as any other company I've ever been with. You might send a message in on Qualcomm and hope to get a response back in any kind of a timely manner. What these people fail to realize is when you're sitting at a shipper or receiver and you're waiting on information, you can't just sit in the middle of the parking lot and wait. These customers don't want you clogging up their damn lines or in the way somewhere because you got to wait on information you should have had before you got there. So yeah, communication, D plus. And even when you communicate with them, it ain't always right. I picked up in Jonesboro, and anybody that works in this for Schneider, period, knows probably exactly where I'm talking about. When I got back to the truck, which I park at the terminal in West Memphis, I'd already booked 2 loads. And when I got back to the truck, I was expecting to see a solution for an empty. They did not give me one. So when I went through and reviewed the loads through the task menus and all that stuff, they didn't show dropping an empty at the customer. Just showed picking up a loaded trailer. So I sent a message on the Qualcomm. Either they missed a step or they're telling me to bobtail to this customer. Please verify. Never got a response back. Well, I did finally about 20 minutes later after I called. So I called with the same question. Am I to assume that you're telling me to bobtail to this customer? And the response was, well, looking at the load information, yes. And about that time, my response to my Qualcomm message popped in, same response. And my statement was, I don't want to drive to the customer. It was 63 miles deadhead. I don't want to drive 63 miles to find out I can't get this load because I don't have it empty. You should be fine. Okay. Famous last words. So I drive to the customer, pull up to the guard shack. First words out of the guard's mouth was, oh, did you drop an empty off earlier? No, I did not. They told me to bobtail up here to get this load. I don't think they're going to give it to you. Great. So he calls whomever, shipping, whatever. And the trailer that I'm picking up is about 80% complete. And no, I cannot come in there unless I have an empty to bring. Because according to, I'll get to that point. Just a second. So I drive, there's a little parking area, so I drive over, park, and I send in another message to the Qualcomm. They will not let me pick up this loaded trailer unless I bring it empty. And I waited because I was so pissed that a phone call probably would have been not the right thing to do because I probably would have chopped somebody's head off. So more than an hour later, I still had not got a response to that Qualcomm message. So I called. Spoke to the same person I talked to earlier, who inadvertently didn't recall the conversation and didn't even have it noted in the system that we'd even talked. Okay. Whatever excuse you got to make for whatever. And at this point, I'm still not happy. And I didn't get rude, but I definitely stressed my frustration with the situation. So this person's put me on hold to call the box people about getting an empty and come back on the phone and said you should be getting information on where to get an empty for this load, which at this point, just really irritates me, because I can tell you right now, it would not have been a good phone conversation had they wanted to send me some ridiculous somewhere to get an empty when I should have had one on the way in the first place. And I wouldn't have went and got it unless they were going to pay me for it. Because I've already wasted the fuel getting up there without an empty. Why am I going to waste more fuel to go get an empty? Whether they would have or not, that'd been a whole other story. So I finally get the solution to go get an empty. They want me to pick up an empty where I'm trying to pick up the load. So if they won't let me in without an empty, what am I going to go in? They're going to let me get an empty, go around the block, and then come back with it? Just stupid. Just the stupidest stupid I could think of. So I called. Well, I didn't call. First I went up and talked to, there was a new guard at the gate when I went back up there, second shift guard. And I got to talking to him about it. And I didn't drive to the gate. I walked up there just because I was pretty sure they were not going to let me go in there, grab an empty, just turn around and drop it right back in the same spot, and just for paperwork purposes. So I'm talking to the guard about the issue, and he says no, they're not gonna do that. And he said that the agreement with Schneider, and again, I can't verify it, this is what he's telling me. The agreement with Schneider is they're supposed to maintain 25 empty trailers at that location at all times. He pulled up the security cameras, and I think they had 6. But I told him the trailer that I was supposed to pick up was already being loaded when I got there, and should have been done. And luckily, he helped me out. He let me take that loaded trailer, and you know how much I appreciate what he did, because my afternoon was going to crap real quick. So again, on the communication side, I'll give you a D plus just because I'm a nice guy. So yeah, I mean, there's issues with this company and this program just like any other. These issues aren't just pertaining to the IC part of this company. I mean, the trailer issue and load issues and stuff like that's company on the company side too. The company driver is experiencing the same thing. And with other companies, I've experienced these same situations, some more than others. The last company I was with, because of the loads that they ran, not having an empty was a very rare occurrence with them. But it was just because they pretty much ran the same customers all the time, and that was it. They didn't do a lot of outside brokerage type stuff. But yeah, so I mean, overall, I'm still glad I did it. Truck's still running good, just because of the freedom I have. These issues come up, yeah, they're going to irritate me and at times piss me off. But in the end, I'd still rather do this and deal with those issues than drive company and deal with those issues. Either way. So I'm good. So if my honest opinion, I don't see the negatives being close enough to outweigh the positives of doing this. So that's my review, and that's my issues that I've incurred since I've been here. And again, there haven't been a lot of them. Today went perfect. I brought the load in. It was a drop and hook. Grabbed an empty. Out the gate I went, drove to the next customer, other than the 3 trips around the building to drop the empty and get the loaded trailer. It was a pretty easy process, in and out, and now I'm here making this video. But, you know, if anybody else that watches these videos, if you run into these same drop and hook, not being a drop and hook situations, I don't know how common it is. Again, I'm new, and I've experienced it 4 times. Once on the loading side and 3 times on the unloading side. I don't know how common this is, or if I've just run into a streak of them. So, let me know. Hit me up. And to whoever wrote the question about wanting the review, hope this answers some questions you might have, or gives you an idea of, you know, where I'm at, or what I think, which I wouldn't put too much stock in. I'm not a smart man. If you got any other questions, let me know, and I'll try to answer those too. So, as always, I appreciate you guys taking the time. Be safe. We'll talk to you.